Dave Scott, Hub Media. I'm with Lill from CMHA, and I promised you last month we'd do part two because there's so many programs. And then I kind of categorized a little bit today, but I want to just give you an opportunity to briefly talk about some of these, like the Brant Safe Bed program. Can you explain that?
Yes, the Brant Safe Beds program are for individuals that are homeless and they're brought in by the police, right? It's not
Oh,
just a walk-in or anything like that. They are brought in by the police and they can stay 7 days, right? And that it is exactly what the program says. It's a safe bed to keep them off the street until they're stabilized, and then they can go back out. But they are brought in with the police, and that's important to know.
I bet you that's a program that continues to grow, isn't it? Like,
Yes.
unfortunately, right now in
Yeah,
this era.
there's certainly a need. There's certainly a need.
The housing too. You guys do housing at some?
Yes, we do. We have Phoenix Place Housing
Okay.
in Brantford, and then we have several subsidized housing units in the Norfolk area. And these are for persons living with mental illness that are on a fixed income. And wait lists are long. I'm not saying that it's a breeze to get in, but every case is assessed and determined that way. So we do have subsidized housing and supported housing as well. If you are living in any of our supported housing units, you have you also have a case manager that's available to you, or a mental health worker. Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know you guys did that. That's pretty cool. And that's
Yep.
another area where you probably sustainably like that growth in that sector. Like you said, it's a wait list.
Yep.
Is it something that you see as a long-term growth program?
Yes, absolutely. We want to give people a chance to stabilize their finances or live in, a unit that is affordable to them, because they don't need to worry about that as well when maintaining their mental health issues. So,
I
yeah.
got you. So, Emma, this is the last one because I'm keeping it kind of short today because we're both busy. But what is it you do exactly, Lil? It's time to
Yeah.
dive into Lil's.
I'm always out promoting our agency and our programs and our staff, but we never talk about mental health promotion. So mental health promotion is basically just that, right? It's prevention. It's providing education and training and information to keep well. We focus on mental wellness, your well-being, and we go out and do talks and presentations on workplace wellness. And we also partake in mental health awareness campaigns, and we're at information fairs with our dog and pony show, and lots of stuff. It is a busy job. Yeah.
Do you guys do schools as well?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Is that? I mean, that's the prevention part right there, isn't it? Like, that's got to be critical.
Definitely. It's really important, right? Because if you have prevention programs, then you don't end up possibly down the road needing other types of services. So, yeah.
Is that orientated towards certain grades? Do you go to high schools or public schools? Can you give me a little bit of info?
Usually high schools. The both boards have their own mental health programs and mental health workers. So we work in partnership with them when they request our help. Yeah.
And have you seen a growth in what you do as far as corporations? Are they seeing the value now?
Yes.
Helping their, okay.
Yes.
Can you talk to that a bit?
Yes, a lot of I do lunch and learns, right? And you go into these offices and you're going, this is how the other half lives. But they really understand that a happy employee is a productive employee. And that's one of my slides, actually. That's how I begin a lot of my workplace wellness presentations. Yeah. So
how long have you, I don't want to date you, but how long have you been doing this job? You've been doing this a
20
little bit.
years, a long time. Yeah.
Give me some insight into the change because you've seen the shift, right?
Yeah.
And remember when it was all the stigma, and now the acceptance is finally opening up, isn't it?
Absolutely. I remember my first order of business was I was doing a lot of training. I was assist trained, which is applied suicide intervention skills training. And I was doing a lot of those. And then I was doing presentations in schools on suicide prevention and all that. And there were some classrooms, some teachers that wanted to look at my presentation beforehand, right? And that's all changed now. Thank goodness.
Yeah, and it's a learning curve that
Yeah,
society's sort of come through to see
yeah,
and understand the value of what mental health is. I think
yes,
there's such, I mean, I don't want to keep using the word stigma, but I think there's been such a personal confrontation with each individual by themselves to go, wait a minute, this
yeah,
isn't right. That took a
exactly.
long time.
Exactly, exactly. We've certainly come a long way, but mental illness is still highly stigmatized. We still have a ways to go, but we've come a long way. So that's encouraging.
And it's important, like you said, with like, and I just go back to like the safe beds and that we got to have those programs because we got to help folks sort of. That's
Yeah.
that initial step, isn't it, to sort of
Yes,
help
it
get
is.
back on the road to recovery.
Yes, absolutely. People need a little help sometimes, and that's what our programs are all about. We ask people to reach out, and sometimes you just can't go it alone, and that's what we're here for. Yeah.
It's important that people have that opportunity to, I don't know where it all goes down the road, but I'm liking what I'm seeing as far as the progression and
Yep.
sort of people understanding better. And I think some of the programs that you guys, well, all the programs, but the educational component that you provide and maybe other programs that you guys have as far as educational is so important for folks just to read and
Yep.
maybe understand what's going on with a friend or a family member, right?
Yep.
Because I just think that's part of it. If you don't understand it, you can't really help them a little bit. And if you understand what's going on, then
Yep.
you can sort of see the parameters of where you need to be to help that person.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Dave. You can't understand what you can, what you
What
don't
you don't know.
understand, right? You don't know what you don't know, and I think when people hear about, oh, that person has mental illness, first and foremost, they may hear about something that was sensationalized on the news, right? But those are very rare cases, so it's really important to get that education out there, and that's how you help bust the stigma, help people to understand what mental illness is all about and how people are just really struggling and trying to get better. Yeah.
Next month, I want to talk about just because we always talk about Christmas time and
Hmm.
remember the stigma when you come out of it. And there's such is does that occur? We'll talk about this next month. Does that
Yeah.
occur at the end of summer too? Because
Yeah.
summer's like so much
Definitely
fun, right? Right.
does. Yeah, for
So
sure.
we'll talk about that next month. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Seasonal affective disorder, when it starts to
Yes.
get dark around 4 o'clock. Yeah. People get bummed out for
But I
sure.
just mean like when August ends and you see the I always remember the years that we did camps
Yeah.
and then all the leaders and all the kids would leave.
Yeah.
And it was like you had the blues for a couple of days because
Oh,
you
yeah.
missed that excitement and that energy, right?
Yep. That
But
summer's winding down, and absolutely that's very real, Dave. Yep.
all right, we'll talk about that next month. Thanks, Lil.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye, Dave.